slug it out, I'm game. But I got all the atom in the city, pal, and I ain't shy about using it. And now, I'm Jake to take her out for a spin.
What is this you wait for? Go and get this idiot!
And welcome back to Bros 2 Bioshock. In the last episode, we finished up our stay in Apollo Square, heading to my least favorite level, Point Prometheus, where we're supposed to have our final showdown with Frank Fontaine, who's on the run from us. Guess all that Adam doesn't pay when you're staring at the guy who has an icy wrench in his hands. Boom! First try. Got it. I really don't like this level. But I'll elaborate on that in just a bit. For right now, let's try and catch Fontaine. He's a slippery little weasel, isn't he? Sicking his security bots on us. Joke's on him. I'm not giving up.
Last chance, kid. You pack it in now, and I'll leave this stuff to you and Frau Kraut. You keep on coming, and Rapture's a fish tank.
Fortunately, he was just too slippery.
Shite! You let him get away. I need a moment for thinking. Of course. This will be no problem. Find a Big Daddy and search his body. I would suggest you to be finding a dead one.
Oh, I got you, Tannenbaum. I know what you're playing at. The weapon upgrade station. Yes, of course. I'm going to kill Fontaine with an upgraded chemical thrower. A fully upgraded one. Genius! No, we're going to be doing something much stupider.
You see the suit's control system? So good, get it. That is step one of turning you into one of those disgusting Big Daddies. The only way to get through that door Fontaine went through is to have a little one open it for you. And they will only trust you if you look like, sound like, and even smell like one of those big, stinking brutes.
Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any to get into why Point Prometheus is my least favorite level, along with the following level, Proving Grounds. Both have their own fair share of problems, but, in my opinion, both suffer from a similar problem that I'll be building up to. For right now, I want to focus on Point Prometheus and why every time I replay this level, I never look forward to it. For me, there are a few reasons, but I'll get into those in a bit. Right now, let's collect these Big Daddy boots and deal with Carrie over here, who thinks those boots are hers. They're not. They're mine.
Why are these boots here? They should be in fail-safe armored escorts. No matter. Take them, take them.
Fun fact about that radio conversation is that if you collect the Big Daddy boots without getting the audio diary and armored escorts by Suchong, Tannenbaum will contact you wondering why the boots are there. Little fun attention to detail that I admire. But that's one of few compliments I'm willing to give Point Prometheus. Let's just dive straight into the problems, starting with the least egregious. Tannenbaum and Fontaine contact you way too much in this level. It feels like every 5 minutes they've got to just ring your ear on the radio, and be it Fontaine trash-talking you, because yes, it is trash-talking, he doesn't say anything thought-provoking at all, and I'll get into that in a bit. Or it could be Tannenbaum pointing out the painfully fucking obvious. Like, there's a moment where I go and collect the Big Daddy suit, and she's like, oh, this is where you'll find the Big Daddy suit. Even though I'm staring right at it, and it's like, gee, Tannenbaum, I don't know if I'll find it.
Saturday Evening Post. Poor bastard. A motherless freak. Whipped up in a half-baked science experiment.
Hope you enjoyed that radio call by Fontaine, because every time you go to a new part of the level, he's just gonna keep talking your damn ear off, and it's so annoying. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up! Ugh! Like, I get it, they want me to hate him, but I already have plenty of reasons to hate Fontaine. Dude took Jack away from his dad, Andrew Ryan, raised him to be a genetic freak just so he could get control over Rapture, no matter how many people got killed or harmed in the process. And then, after Jack delivers the city to Fontaine, that's not even enough. He tries to have him killed by also simulating a heart attack and sicking security bots on him. Like, I already hate Fontaine. You don't need to give me more reason for that. And again, Fontaine doesn't say anything thought-provoking. You may think he does, but it's not. It's just trash talk. Like, for example, When Fontaine asks, like, oh, where are you gonna go when all is said and done? Why should we care where Jack ends up? Jack is meant to represent the player. You know, there wasn't much to his character, just the fact that he had fake memories, and that he was a genetic experiment. We don't really need to know where he goes from here on out, because we've decided his fate already, depending on if we've rescued a lot of little sisters or harvested most of them. We're not really concerned with where Jack ends up as much as we're concerned about just taking Fontaine down and making him pay for what he did to us. For making us his slave, making us dance to his tune. You know? And it's in contrast with what Andrew Ryan was doing way back in Hephaestus. Yeah, Andrew Ryan was smack-talking you a little bit, but most of his dialogue was him trying to get you to think. Trying to get you to question that there's more to Atlas than what he lets on. To question your role in all of this, that there's something far bigger at play here that you just can't see yet because you're too busy doing the bidding of said individual. But yeah, that was my first problem, and that was the least egregious problem of Point Prometheus, so let's get a move on with this. My second big problem with Point Prometheus is its level design. Now, you might have saw as we were making our way to go and collect the helmet for the Big Daddy that we had to go through a tight corridor.
Also, all we need now is bodysuit.
This is how you're going to be navigating the level. You're going to be going through small hallways and going into big rooms in order to collect said pieces for the Big Daddy suit. Not that big a problem, as the rooms are fairly open, there is plenty of room to breathe. That's fine. My problem is that getting to these rooms is a bit of a pain. Not so much as that there's something constantly in your way, but it's the way the corridors are designed, that they're very tight and there's very little room for you to breathe, or even take cover from. Because yes, splicers will attack you while you're in those tight corridors. Not only that, but there's also 3 Big Daddies you have to deal with in this level. And guess which Big Daddies are prominent in this level? Rosies! Yay! Who'd have fucking thought? Certainly not me. But yeah, and say it with me, everybody who's watching this. Rosies are good at ranged combat, and speak of the devil, there he is. Fortunately, it's in an open area, so that's not too bad. But that Big Daddy is the exception rather than the rule.
We are getting somewhere.
Because you will be encountering Big Daddies in the hallways. Because guess what? There are little sister vents in those hallways. So if you have a problem with facing a Big Daddy in said hallway, you're going to have to wait until that Big Daddy, hopefully, goes into one of the big rooms. Because if you die, you get sent all the way back to where you got the suit control piece from that dead Big Daddy in the wall. And Point Prometheus isn't exactly a small level. It's fairly big. And by the time you finally get to where you died, that Big Daddy and that little sister are probably in the next room over, or that little sister went straight back into the vent, causing you to wait more. Do yourself a favor and just pack a crap ton of electric gel and use it. Fuck dignity, fuck honor, kill the Big Daddies, save yourself the headache. Especially if you're playing on a harder difficulty. Because Rosies fucking hurt. And the thing is, going back to where you died wouldn't be such an issue if Point Prometheus didn't feel like a fucking maze at points. Pardon the pun. You might have noticed at the top of the screen, the compass is gone. That's because we're dealing with multiple objectives, and the developers wanted you to explore this level. Now, you do have the in-game map, as well as in-game signs pointing you in the direction of where certain items are. Not only that, but you also do have the objective list to point out in which rooms that each thing is located in. So you shouldn't get too lost, it's just, I suck and I'm stupid. But I swear, even with that, even ignoring finding the individual pieces to become a big daddy, whenever I'm looking around for audio diaries, consumables, upgrades to my tonic tracks, or tonic upgrades, more accurately, or weapon upgrade stations, I always feel like I have to go into a room and like 3 or 4 times just to make sure I got everything. And the thing is, you can apply that to all the levels in Bioshock, practically, where you have to explore multiple different sections of a level just to make sure you've got everything if you're going for 100%. I get that, but there's a way of doing it right, and there's a way of doing it wrong. Doing it right, I would say, is that it falls on the player for not being attentive enough. Doing it wrong is where it falls on the developer for not, making things clear enough or hiding things in very asshole places. And to be fair, the audio diaries are placed in fairly noticeable locations. I'm just not as observant as I think I am. Yeah, that's my main problem with the design of Point Prometheus. For right now, let's listen to this audio diary just before we get into my big problem with this level.
I have made mistakes. One does not build cities if one is guided by doubt. But can one govern in absolute certainty? I know that my beliefs have elevated me just as I know that the things I have rejected would have destroyed me. But the city, it's collapsing before my... Have I become so convinced by my own beliefs that I have stopped seeing the truth? Perhaps. But Atlas is out there, and he aims to destroy me and to destroy my city. To question is to surrender. I will not question.
Road to hell is paved with good intentions, Mr. Ryan. I always liked that audio diary. Just Ryan opening up and not absolving himself of the guilt he feels for what he's done. It's one of my favorites, personally. But I've talked about my 2 problems with Point Prometheus, but here's the big problem I have with this level, as well as the following level, Proving Grounds. And my main problem with Point Prometheus is, why is this level here? Why are we collecting individual pieces for a Big Daddy suit? Why are we becoming a Big Daddy? Why? Because a little one will only listen to us if we are a Big Daddy? Newsflash, Tannenbaum can instruct the little sisters to do certain things. We've seen this multiple times. Whenever she sends us rewards in the form of teddy bears, she instructs the little sisters to do it. And don't even say, like, oh, well, that's the little sisters doing it. No. There's a radio conversation where Tannenbaum explicitly says, I am sending a little one to deliver you a reward. She says that. So, why do we suddenly need to become a Big Daddy in order for a little sister to listen to us? And it's not like the little sisters don't know who we are. Because when we first start out in Olympus Heights, in Tannenbaum's safe house, the little sisters look to us and say, he's here to help us. That's the man who saved me. So, they know who we are. They know what we do and what we're trying to do. We're trying to take care of Fontaine, who is far worse than whatever splicer is roaming the halls of Rapture. And yet, they won't listen to us. They won't help us out unless we dress up like a Big Daddy, smell and voice and all. And even if you say this level is meant to world build, to show where Jack's roots are, to show where the little sisters were taken, and how they imprinted on the Big Daddies, and vice versa, and all that, da-da-da-da-da, okay, fair enough. But, with the exception of the little sister portion, I'd argue we don't need to see where Jack was created. Because we already know. We know everything we need to know about Jack. Thanks to the cutscene with Ryan, with that flashback where you see Tannenbaum and Suchong next to a baby, that's Jack. Where you stumble upon that room with "Would you kindly" sprawled on the wall. Or, scrawled on the wall. Sorry, not sprawled. That's Jack. That literally paints out the picture of Jack's entire backstory. And why should we care who Jack is? He doesn't have much of a backstory. He represents the player. He's us playing the game. And again, this just goes right back to my main problem. This level is padding in its purest form. The little sister stuff, yeah, it's interesting to learn about. It's disturbing. I agree with you there, but does that really constitute a whole level? It would be better if Tannenbaum just said that because Fontaine is so hopped up on Adam and is far stronger than we ever could have imagined, you're going to need to find a Big Daddy suit, helmet, and boots in order to stand even a lick of a chance. Had Tannenbaum said that, then it would have been fine, because we know how strong Fontaine is. He puts his strength on display the moment we enter this level. And the padding doesn't stop here. It gets worse at Proving Grounds, let me just say. But I think I've bitched enough about this level. We've saved two little sisters, and we're very close to becoming a full-on Big Daddy, even though that makes no fucking sense why we need to be one. Ugh. Anyway, next time on Bioshock, we'll be collecting the remaining pieces necessary to become a Big Daddy. See you guys then.
War a terrible thing. Japanese kill every man in my city, except for Suchong. Suchong have opium. Very good opium. This war, terrible thing too, but not for Suchong. Everyone's scared now. Everyone needs Adam. More than little sisters can make. Good news is war makes lots of corpses. Suchong knows a way to recycle Adam from corpses, but can't send a little sister out to street unprotected. Suchong must think on this. Big Daddy make a terrible stink. Very smelly. Maybe something can be done. But the little sisters seem to like order. Now we have to find the recruits. You become Big Daddy, it's a one-way street. But Ryan says don't worry. Recruits will be no problem. That's Ryan. He's a good guy. Fontaine, scary son of a bitch. But Ryan, cheap son of a bitch. You can no reuse protector suit. Take a man, graft the skin and organs straight into suit. Otherwise, your suit not work. Ryan say Big Daddy too expensive. Ryan can go suck a egg.